Hey gang, welcome back to the channel. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving. Today is Black Friday, so I'm out and about. I got a 20% coupon for Red Wing boots in my pocket. And speaking of boots, heading up to drop off an old pair of mine that have the soles that are basically worn all the way through. I'm going to go up and see how much they'll charge me to resole the ones that I got in my saddlebag right now. So depending on where you guys live, you may be in shutdown mode again or heading that way quickly. Here in Florida, I haven't heard of anything going on with shutdowns yet. If you're ever in the Daytona area, that Giuseppe's Pizza right there in Port Orange on Nova Road's pretty good. I love their white pizza. But anyway, back to the subject at hand. Yeah, I don't know what you guys got going on wherever you're at, but down here it's so far business as usual. Usually if you go somewhere, there'll be a sign on the door saying whether or not you're required to have a mask to enter. So I always have one in my pocket so I don't get anybody in trouble. I can see why people don't want to put a mask on, but on the same token, depending on where you're at, you walk in the door and some Karen winds up seeing someone in there without a mask. They call and rat on the business, and next thing you know, you got 4 people out of work at a small business, and the guy and lady that sunk their money into their business have lost everything they've worked for God knows how many years to get to where they're at in life, that they can actually work for themselves. So as a courtesy, and because people can kick you out no matter what here in Florida, if you walk into a privately owned business and you don't do what they tell you, they can boot you. So like I said, I always make sure I got one in my pocket. But yeah, with the whole COVID thing going on, people are trying to cancel out all the holidays on you. Literally the only thing that changed for Thanksgiving this year was one extra person was added into the mix, and that was my daughter, who lives on the other side of the state. She spends most of her time working from home anyway, so we had dinner over my mom's house. She's like 73, and even back when this first started, about the first month to 6 weeks, I think I got like 3 invites to come over for dinner. She's of the mind that if she has to live without her family around, she'd rather not live. So I kept blowing her off and putting it off, telling her, hey, you know, I work at a fire department, so I'm around a lot of patients and I go to emergency rooms, so maybe I ought to not come over. But after about a month and a half, we hadn't had any positive cases that we knew of for sure. I decided that I'd go over there every so often and hang out with her, because she's a bit of a homebody. So if family doesn't come visit her, the only company she's going to get besides a cat is going to be her doctor's appointments here and there. And when it comes to COVID, I've only had one person I personally know get it. It was my stepsister I mentioned in a previous video. She wound up dying in part from it. She had pulmonary fibrosis, which basically makes it so you can't take a normal deep breath to begin with. And she wasn't doing very well to begin with, so she didn't make it. Her son called and let my mom know, and that was probably a couple of months ago, or 2.5, 3 months ago. I forget, but And then one of the local ambulance crew guys here in this area passed away from it. Not sure if he got it at home or at work, but I think a couple people in his family had it. But other than that, I don't know of anybody personally who's passed away from it other than those two individuals. Doesn't make it any less of a problem for the nation as a whole. But anyway, off of the bad news, Christmas is right around the corner, and as usual, it's getting close, and I still don't know what the hell I'm going to get for family. I'm sure a lot of y'all are in the same boat. I see things here and there online that I've thought about getting, but what I usually do is screenshot them. If I see something on Instagram or Facebook, or when I'm just scrolling the interwebs and something pops up on the side of the Google page as an advertisement, if I see something like that, I'll usually grab it. I know sometimes people, when I'm putting a video out, they'll ask me to put down or mention where I'm at when I'm on the video, and right now I'm heading northbound from the south part of Daytona, down in Port Orange where I live, heading up into Daytona Beach on South Nova Road. Oh, that's nice. I love those old hot rods. Got an old Chevy pickup truck up here too. Cool truck. Chevy Apache. I like old hot rods. Cool old trucks and cars like that. That's pretty awesome. My dad has a 1950 Mercury and a 1930 something or other. I forget exactly what model it is, but it's a 1930 something Ford that's all chromed out with the Edelbrock engine and everything. But, my stepfather died a long time ago. He lived down here in Florida with my mom. My dad's still up in Maryland. He's always had bunch of hot rods going on my whole childhood. Whenever I'd spend time with him, we'd always go to the garage and hang out there. It was a pretty cool place. It was off of US 1 up in the Beltsville, Maryland area, right outside of DC. It was a two-story brick garage that they rented out from some order of, I guess you'd call them monks, friars, I don't know. Yeah, buddy, that's what I'm talking about. A Duster 340, 1970 something, I'm guessing. But yeah, he had that garage up there, rented it out with a bunch of other guys that worked on their cars and trucks all the time. And anytime I walk into a garage and I smell the greasy floors and that garage kind of smell, it takes me back to childhood. But yeah, that religious order, the big building that they stayed in, burned down a long time ago. I believe it was called the Amundale Institute, and there was a bunch of graves in the back of it where the old members, that when they passed away, they put them out there in the backyard. A while back I looked it up on Google Maps, and man, it looks totally different now. That was decades ago. Big ass rooster back there. But we're getting up into the Holly Hill Ormond Beach area now. Still on, we're on North Nova Road now. There's a Florida Gun Exchange. It's one of the biggest gun stores around the Daytona area. There's a bunch of smaller ones around too. My friend of mine owns the one down in Port Orange, down by me, called Gunfire Incorporated. It's rough to keep stores in stock these days. Once all the riots started a few months ago, it was everybody's going out and buying new guns. Even people that have never had a gun before would consider themselves anti-gun. They woke up to the reality that when the police department has been told by their bosses and local government that to stand down, to not react, to not protect people's lives and property, that you're on your own. So even people that are anti-gun or have never owned one before started buying guns. So it's hard to keep ammunition in stock, and it's hard to keep guns in stock, even for a big place with a lot of volume that the distributors would give favoritism over. We'll see how this all works out with the new administration coming in. They're anti-gun. The way I think about it is if I haven't committed a crime and I've never been arrested for a violent felony and I'm not a drug addict, I should be able to own whatever kind of gun I want. Because, you know, like I've mentioned in prior videos, the way I look at it is that you should be able to do pretty much anything you want as long as you're not harming another person. I'm for freedom for everyone. I don't give a rat's behind who you are, where you're from, race, creed, color, religion, sexual orientation, whatever category you want to put yourself in or other people put you in. I really don't care. That's your business, not mine. So first time I ever fired a rifle was when I was about 7 years old, and I've been shooting M16, M4, AR-15 style. Oh, there we go. There's the shop. Style of rifles since I was 17 years old in boot camp, and I'm now in my 50s. So I don't see how anyone could tell me that I shouldn't have the right to own whatever type of rifle I want, considering my experience. So anyway, let me pop in here real quick, see what they'll charge me to fix a pair of boots. My boots, doing the boot scoot boogie. Yeah, definitely needs new sole. And that one's kind of wore out, but it's not quite gone yet. Anyway, I'll be back in a second. Let me turn my camera off, save my battery. Well, there's really nice people in there. It's Ira and Son Shoe Repair at the intersection of Granada and Nova Road in Ormond Beach. Alright. Go ahead and head down to Daytona. Let's see what's going on at the outlet. Go ahead and west on Hand. Oh, that's pretty. I don't know if the camera's picking it up very well, but got sunbeams up there peeking out through the clouds. Looks like it wants to rain. Oh yeah, that's right. I've totally forgot. Turkey Rod Run. This little red hot rod coming by here made me think of it. They have the Turkey Rod Run, which is old souped up cars, trucks, and things like that. They used to have it up at Bel Air Plaza on the north side of Daytona Beach side. But a few years ago, they started holding it at the Speedway itself. Totally forgot about that. Oh well. I gotta work tomorrow, and it's kind of too late to go today. So I guess I'll, God willing, if I'm still here next year, I'll catch it next year. Got a video from, I think it was 2019. I went out to a motorcycle and car show out in a place called Geneva. It's kind of a rural area east of Orlando. They have a pretty good thing out there at a place called Thunder Ranch. If I recall correctly, that was the name of that. Alright, here we go. Here's Williamson. I believe I gotta take a right and head north. Oh no, wait a minute, I gotta go south. I gotta go into Daytona. South on Williamson, so I'm gonna take a left. There's another hot rod over there. Bright yellow. We're heading south on Williamson now. And the outlet mall is right up the road at that traffic light, but just before I get to it, I'm gonna hook a right and go back, and I'm gonna check on a place that they're building on the highway. Those of you that have been to Texas, you'll know it very well. They've got a handful of them elsewhere, but they're a Texas chain called Buc-ee's. Got a little beaver for a mascot. Kind of fell in love with that place when my daughter was going to forensic school out in Texas at San Marcos. And it's kind of funny, her boyfriend was just passing through Warner Robins on the way home to visit his family for Thanksgiving, and he stopped at the Warner Robins one because he had never been to one, and he said, my daughter told me, he said, yeah, now I understand why you think Buc-ee's is like the coolest thing ever. Because the place is, it looks like a truck stop. It's gigantic. It's got a ton of gas pumps. Just slow down a little bit. Raise up. Yeah, that's it back there. It's coming along pretty good. Yeah, it'll be opening up soon. And that place over there, that restaurant, used to be owned by Vince Carter, the basketball player. But I guess he sold it, and now they have a Stonewoods there, which is kind of like a steak, fancy kind of a restaurant. A couple of trikes there. But now I'm at LPGA, a little bit east, or excuse me, a little bit west of Williamson, and we're going to go straight ahead into the Tangier outlet. But yeah, I'll be looking forward to seeing if Buc-ee's is just as cool here in Daytona as it is in Texas. Pretty sky over there. Looks like it wants to rain, barely. Yeah. I think I'm just going to go to the bookstore. I don't know about you, but I hate crowds. So going shopping on Black Friday, probably not a good idea. This whole outlet area here with all these stores, this is all relatively new within the last few years for those of you who may be watching that have lived or visited the Daytona area in the past. Lived in or visited. But it's got all the usual chains out here. There's nothing like particularly exciting about it. And to be honest with you, I don't know why I'm going to the bookstore. I've got about probably 8 or 10 books that I have barely cracked yet, but I love reading about all kinds of random stuff. Mostly history, politics, social issues, stuff like that. Alright, let's go.
How you doing?
It's been a really nice day out today. I've been seeing online a lot of people on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all that. You guys are starting to get some snow and crappy weather up there. Feel sorry for y'all. I know I'm laughing, but yeah, I do feel sorry for you. Yeah, what do you guys do up north and up in the mountains out west when you're stuck for months where you can't ride? You guys got to, like, kind of like with a boat, winterize your bikes? Or do you just go ahead and pop it on the tender and cover it up in the garage? I think the coldest I've ever had to ride my bike on was, I was up in North Georgia visiting one of my kids in college, and it was about 30 to 35 degrees, somewhere in that range, when I left their town up there in Athens, Georgia. Had to ride all the way to Macon, and bought a better pair of winter gloves because my hands were about ready to drop off. Everything else was frigid, but my hands were just screaming cold. It was terrible. I had these gloves here, and granted, I got the thumb cut out just so I can operate my app on the phone over here. But yeah, they're definitely not cold weather gloves. They're just more for protection. And I've got a lighter pair that they're ventilated with holes, but they've got a good sturdy palm. But I hardly ever wear them. They're basically just a backup pair in case I lose mine or they get stolen off my bike, off my dash. Yeah, I was freezing my butt off coming down. What was cool was I was headed south, so it was getting warmer as I went, but I had to get way down around Interstate 16, which heads east-west through Georgia. I had to get down around there before I started shedding clothing as I got into Florida. The ride up there wasn't that bad, but man, the ride back, I froze my butt off. I think I'll try. There's a place over here, World Market. I think I'm gonna jump in there real quick too. Heading south on Williamson. That's International Speedway up there, ISB, International Speedway Boulevard. The speedway's literally right past that light on the left over there. But I'm gonna pop in here real quick, see if I see anything that I might get for a Christmas present for someone. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and call it a video. So if you like the content of the channel, do me a favor, like, share, subscribe, hit that little bell for notifications. And I'll see you later. Bye-bye. Boom. doom, 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 doom.